Definitely change.
This should be
I want to
played
watch
at
Baron
high
Corbin.
volume, preferably
pussy
in
ass
a
bitch.
residential area.
GameWorn Radio is on the air.
Hey! Shelton scores! Up in the Cordova, baby! We're going bowling. Now, let's go hunt moose on a Harley. The fires, he scores! L.A. face with an Oakland booty. Scores! Make me a bicycle. They score! Bowmeister paid that man his money.
GameWorn Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Derek, GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us, and I'm here with the regular crew. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the regular crew. And we're going to talk about some stuff today, and we're going to go right into it because I'm already a little bit on edge because my piece of shit laptop is dying, and I had to reinstall a bunch of audio drivers to get this son of a bitch working. But hey, let's talk about some stuff about people getting called out recently on some shit that is not valid, yeah? Fuck. Alright. We talked about it a little bit before the show, so I could get my head straight and my mannerisms under par, but I don't think that's going to help. So let me tell you a story.
About a man named Jed.
I don't know what his name is. We're not going to use names. It's not about the names. It's not about calling people out. This is more about informational things, and hopefully people will look at it and conduct themselves a little bit differently. And honestly, like, that's kind of my hope for the world, to be honest. But let's just start small. Let's start within the GameWorn community. So we have a situation here where two collectors decide to trade jerseys. Cool. So one collector ships his, and he's waiting for the tracking information from the other collector. And it doesn't come, and he goes to try and message him, and he can't get a hold of him. Facebook says, I can't send your messages. So he's like, well, what the shit? I can't contact this guy and be like, hey, did you ship my jersey? So gets on the bad traders group and he's like, hey, I can't get a hold of this guy who was supposed to ship this jersey. He owes me a jersey, whatever. So it's on there. I see it. I know that it originated from the group that I'm an admin of, so I want to make sure there's no foul play. So I message the guy who's supposed to ship, and I'm like, hey, what's going on with this jersey? And he's like, I can't send any messages, and he sends me a screenshot of how he can't send messages to them. So it's like he didn't block them. It was a Facebook mess up or whatever. So I'm just like, let me get these guys in contact. So I gave him the other guy's number, and they talked about it. And one of the things they talked about was leaving the post up until he got the tracking information there. And then that was that. And that was the last I heard of it until, I don't know, what is it, a couple days later, he finally ships the jersey out or something. Or right before he shipped the jersey out, I don't know, the post was up, and he said something to me like, oh, well, I can't even remember the exact conversation, but he accused the other dude of slander, right? And I'm like, slander? It's not slander. And he's like, yeah, it is. I'm in law enforcement, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Slander is the spoken word. If anything, this would be libel. And he didn't libel you. He talked about a situation. He didn't call you names. He didn't say anything that wasn't true. All he said was, I have this situation. And so he comes back at me with something, and I'm like, look, dude, I don't have a dog in this fight. So do you really want to do this right now? Like, do you want to make an issue of something that's not an issue right now with me? Because if you do, we'll take care of it right now. Because I'm not about that. So, whatever, he said, she said, whatever. He's trying to figure it out. I'm not an admin of the bad traders group. I'm an admin of the other group, and I'm trying to explain this to him, and he's not getting it. And it's like, first of all, even if I could do something, it is what it is. But second of all, I can't do anything. It's none of my business. My business is making sure that I don't have to remove you from the group that the trade originated in, because that's where I'm an admin. You know? And come to find out, he talks to somebody else, some third party not involved in the entire situation, who wants to blast me out on public forums in the most passive-aggressive manner about me being a bully in the hobby. and we should talk about bullying and bully this and bully that. And I'm at a LAN party on Saturday night trying to get my computer game on, and I spend an hour and a half not doing what I want to be doing to hash this out. Because not being passive aggressive, I message the person. I'm like, hey, what's the problem here? And he tells me, I don't like the way you handled this situation. And I'm like, I handled it the same way many other people would handle it. Well, not me. Well, you're not everyone. People handle shit differently. Me, I'm direct. Some people don't like it, but that's how I am. And you're accusing me of shit that I take offense to. I don't like to be accused of something that I'm not. I hate false accusations. That's the thing that I hate the most. Out of like a long list, it's pretty close to the top, we'll just say. So we hashed this out for like an hour and a half, and all he's talking about, this kid felt this way, and you're a leader, and you shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, first of all, I'm a person. And how do you think I felt when the kid was coming at me? Well, he didn't come at me. He put hot at the end. Don't you know what hot at the end means? And I'm like, I don't care. The dude was making an accusation about something that's not true. I'm going to set anybody straight, even my best freaking friends. If you say something that's not true and I don't like it, I'm going to tell you about it. So, I mean, an hour and a half of my life wasted because you passive aggressively come at me on a public forum, and it's all a communication issue. And it's like, at the end, I'm like, look, if you got a problem with me, message me direct. Don't be putting shit out there, accusing me of things that I'm not, accusing, a bad situation when it's not, especially when you have nothing to do with it. And if this kid felt that I did something different, maybe you should put the shoe on the other foot. I mean, I felt he came at me, and I let him know. I was like, look, I feel like you came at me, and I don't like it. So let's take care of that, because I'm direct. But apparently that makes me a bully. I helped the situation, and instead of saying thank you, you try to make some slight underhanded comments and then get shitty at me when I set you straight on it. That's the situation. Open floor.
My first question is, and Dan, you might be able to answer this best. Is this a younger collector or somebody that's been around a while? I saw the post. Beyond that, I don't know shit about
it. Age never came up.
I just was curious.
I was also accused of taking sides or treating the entire situation differently because somebody that's Dan was involved, and I was accused of taking it differently because Dan's on the show and I'm friends with Dan, and they wanted to accuse me that I would have handled the situation different. No. The fact of the matter is this. My issue was taking care of the jersey swapping, the bad trading post, didn't give a fuck about. I don't know how many times I told each one of them, I don't care about the bad trader group. That's not my group. I don't care. And we do have a question out here of, don't you find that it's better to just ignore trolls? And I would say yes. In most situations, do ignore the trolls. However, when it's passive-aggressive manner, which bugs me, or false accusations. False accusations are a real big deal to me. And you having a false accusation out there, if a couple people believe it, is a problem. I read about all this sexual harassment stuff going on. I know of players accused of sexual harassment and they lose their scholarships and shit, and the 5 years down the road after the fact, the woman admits that she made everything up, and now this dude's life is already ruined. He doesn't have a scholarship. He could have went on to do bigger and better things. False accusations to me are a huge deal. I don't like it. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not going to let you falsely accuse me of something. But for most other shit, I would say yes, ignore the trolls. So, good question. Appreciate it. That's my personal stance on it. Some people may feel the same. Some people may feel different. That's the beauty of the internet and people being different. Sorry, that was a question from the audience. We actually have listeners tonight. Yay, listeners.
I guess, part of what I was getting at with the age thing is it somebody that's very young that basically doesn't know etiquette. Usually, and I've talked about it on the show, and I know others have as well, especially in trades. Actually, really, especially in any of it. Doesn't matter if it's a trade, if it's a buy, sell, whatever. Communication is always key. If you say you're going to ship it on this date, if you get it done, you send them the tracking. If you don't get it done, say, hey, had something come up, had to work late, whatever, couldn't get to the post office. I'll get it out ASAP. I promise I'll send you the tracking as soon as possible. It's not fucking hard to do with Facebook Messenger or email or whatever. It's not like it's a big ass process. It takes 3 seconds to stop and say, hey, got tied up, couldn't get it out today. I apologize. I'm sorry. It will be there as soon as I can.
Well, the end all be all is
do more of that.
Facebook was fucking up, and the messaging system between these two parties and these two parties alone, for some reason, wasn't allowing messages through. Now, that doesn't excuse the fact that you can still view their profile, and if you can't view their profile, you can get a hold of somebody that's involved, maybe an admin, and say, I have this situation going on. Can you be an intermediary party? Instead of somebody coming to me, I proactively went and said, let me be a good guy and solve this problem real quick. Problem was solved, and then later on, apparently it wasn't, because we still wanted to talk some shit. No.
Yeah, and the whole throwing I'm a law enforcement because I know this. You know what? I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't care what the hell kind of jobs you do. Don't throw that kind of shit, because immediately when you do that, all that does is make you look like a jackass. And like I said,
piss somebody off.
I don't know the party involved. What? And let me read the definition. I'm in the law.com library here. Libel is to publish in print, writing, or broadcast through radio, television, all this above, an untruth about another which will do harm to that person's, his or her reputation. By the way, actually proving libel is a huge process. That's why you don't see many cases like that, because it is such a huge deal. But yes, the fact that Messenger was down, the odds of that are extremely rare. Facebook crap doesn't crash out that often. While getting past that, moving past the technical part,
due diligence.
Get over it. The problem was
it's like
problem was solved.
When they were accusing me of not getting rid of the post when I should have got rid of the post in a group that I'm not a fucking admin of, go to the group admins and see who's an admin. See my name, not on the list, and then stop fucking accusing me of shit that I can't control. Hey.
So I'm an admin in that group, and in the Bad Traders group. We will leave up posts as things are being discussed, even after issues are resolved, because we have a couple purposes of the group. One is to call out the bad cases of, bad traders, bad sellers, just anything, out of the ordinary there, people you want to avoid. The other thing we try to do, which has been much more productive, is try to resolve issues. And there's been a lot of posts where discussion then goes on, trying to work out a compromise or seeing it from the same angle. As admins, as long as those don't turn into personal attacks, we like to leave them up there, because it's a good history. People can see how things worked out and how things can be. We created this group to keep it out of the main group, because we really just don't want all the complaining and moaning in the main group. So, first, when this post was still up, no one came to me or the other two admins, Tim and Tom, asking us to remove it. And B, even if they did, I would have wanted to consult with Dan, because he was the original poster, and there were no personal attacks in there. It was very civil. I would not want to be removing that post until the original poster wanted it gone. And honestly, I would have preferred that it stayed up there, because I thought it was fairly informative.
Well, one of the things they were coming at me is, oh, well, that post was up for like X amount of time, and you let his name get dragged through the mud for X amount of time. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't let anything happen. Don't come at me. But they think just because a post is there that it makes that person look bad, when that's not necessarily the truth. It's a post about a situation that people can talk about.
Exactly. The purpose of that post was this ongoing discussion there. And yes, some of it was happening offline. I know you were having the texting conversation with the one trader, but I didn't think his name was being dragged through the mud or anything like that. If that was the case, we would have stepped in as admins.
Carl's on the video right now, and he said, Corey Maggie owes me a jersey. And factually, that would be true. If I shipped a jersey to somebody, and they're supposed to ship a jersey to me, they would owe me a jersey. That is factual information.
Yes. And unfortunately, we still don't have the thread there to see what else went on it, because there was a lot of discussion after that.
Most of the discussion was just, it's too soon to post a thread like this, which, very well might be. Do I like the way the situation was handled and as a whole? Not really. I don't like the fact that was the situation. But you know what? That thread was, it led to two people that weren't in contact getting in contact. Was it the best case scenario? No. But if I would probably do something like that if I was concerned that somebody was supposed to ship me a jersey and then I could no longer get a hold of them because I'm getting messages that indicate similar things as if they were to have blocked me. Because let's face it, bad people in the hobby, they will allow you to ship them something and then block you from communication. So yeah, you're going to want to get to the bottom of it if the shoe's on the other foot.
So the ideal way I would have liked this resolved in the bad traders group was, once the issue was resolved with the two parties, either comment on it at the bottom with a summary and then changing the initial post. Since it was Dan's post, as an admin, I don't think I can edit it, but Dan can edit it and put a summary in there of what happened and why it's resolved. The reason why I prefer that, rather than just deleting the thread, you look at the comments now coming in, rehashing it. People remember some of the things that were in there. They don't remember everything. They don't remember the conclusion always. So I would prefer to get the whole history out there with a nice, succinct summary at the beginning, rather than having it deleted and then partially rehashed, which it seems like we've already done for 17 minutes. So
Carl says, so in the future, if we don't hear from someone within 24 hours, is it okay to post in that group who was the bad trader? And again, I'm going to fucking go back to exactly what I just said previously, because apparently it's so hard to understand that I would be very, very concerned if I tried to send a message to somebody and it wasn't going through, as if, receiving the same messages as if somebody blocked me. If I try to send a message to somebody who blocked me and they're supposed to be shipping me a jersey, that would be cause for alarm. Now, in this situation, it was a technical issue between the two parties and Facebook. It was a bug in Facebook. But the inability to even send a message to that person makes it look like that person blocked you. And when that happens after you ship something to somebody, it's a pretty good indication that that person is taking the situation to a different level. So you're going to want to get to the bottom of it. I don't know how many times we have to continue to recap that.
So what would happen in that case, if we would have put a summary on it to answer Carl's question directly, no one would be a bad trader in that group. It was a misunderstanding that we were able to hash out and get resolved. Now, if someone posts
there were
something,
reasons to raise alarm. There were legitimate reasons to raise alarm.
Oh, yeah. Now, if someone posts something after, hey, I purchased this jersey from so-and-so, it's been 24 hours, he hasn't shipped yet, and there's no circumstances like that, messaging and all that's fine, I might question the original poster later on as I'm reviewing the threads. Hey, this guy's a pain to deal with. He's, complaining because I might have a good reason why I did not ship for 24 hours. And it could be anything, whether kid's sick, dog sick, doesn't matter.
Carl's issue is the 24 hours, but he's still not understanding that it's the fact that Dan tried to reach out to the person and couldn't because of a bug in Facebook that made it look like he was being blocked. It made it look like he's being blocked. It's not about
in normal and to stop Derek for a second, I don't mean to interrupt, but in normal circumstances, I mean, the technical glitch is exactly right. It looked like the person was blocked. It threw everybody for a loop. In normal circumstances, again, fucking communicate. Shoot the guy a message. If it's in your dealing, you say, hey, whatever time it is, hey, I'll get this out tomorrow. Okay? I mean, depending on where the guy is at, you can assume, okay, the post office is open 8 to 5. If you don't hear by 7 or 8 o'clock at night, why don't you reach out to him and say, hey, did you happen to get the jersey shipped out?
So
be nice communication. If the guy didn't get it out for a reason, if he's being a shit about it, then maybe you take it that way. If he apologizes, say, hey, I'm sorry, work went long, I couldn't get it, whatever happened. If he's at least trying to work with you, there is no problem.
So Carl adds, so as soon as contact was made, the post should have been removed, which in a normal situation, I would say yes. But to my understanding from the information given to me, it was negotiated during that contact that the post would be removed when the shipping information was provided. And to my knowledge, that was accomplished.
And I'll still go back saying I would prefer that the post is not removed, and we put a summary on there on why it was initially posted and why it was not an issue in the end.
Right.
And how
leave the information for data recollection purposes, recanting such as this matter. Now,
such which I know you're huge on.
Yeah, nobody's at fault. It was the technical screw up caused people to panic. In the end of the day, neither people are bad seller, bad buyer, any of that. Everything's cool. But yeah, then it's not well, I thought he was a bad buyer because of this happened, or he was a bad seller. You can go look at that, just like Paul said. And Derek said it's a historical record of nobody fucked up. It was a total accident. It's been resolved. Everything's grand.
And that's where we stand. I mean,
okay.
The entire situation is completely resolved. That's where we stand. The only thing that was unresolved was I'm an asshole for helping out, and I'm a bully in the hobby because people don't like the way I handled it.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about pricing and auctions and shit.
Damn it. Let's talk about me.
I think we've had enough of that, sir.
I can agree. I don't actually like talking about me. But
all right, where do we want to go?
Topic for conversation.
Yeah, it is good to bring up, but
I think we gotta start.
Oh, hey, Bobby. Welcome back to the video thing.
Oh, yeah, a topic I can talk about. Drama is not my favorite place in this hobby. I just disconnect.
I'll question that, but go ahead with Bobby.
So why don't we start with, did anybody win anything in the auction? You want to talk about what we got?
I didn't even look at the catalog.
I got 2 out of 3.
I'm really asking for Dan. Tell us, Dan.
The GameWorn auctions, oh my god, it came out afterwards too, people complaining, but I mean, I've always looked and never been on it and stuff. So this time somebody alerted me something that was on there and I found 2 more things and I went for it, So the only thing I have with the auctions is I'll pay the price. You run the auction up. I'll pay the auction fee. I'll pay the shipping and insurance. That's my choice. I have no issues with none of that. What I can't stand, what drove me crazy, was that stupid 10-minute rule. The auction ends at 10 o'clock. The auction ends at 10 o'clock, not 10 minutes after that. And there was any item. If I understood it right, if I read it right.
It's the entire lot. Once you have one bid on the lot, every single fucking lot extends.
So there was, a couple hundred jerseys listed? And all the equipment and everything?
500, there are like 700 listings.
Right. So
jerseys.
if one thing out of 700 had another bid within 10 minutes, the whole thing kept going.
Here's the thing, Dan. And there's 2 sides to it. So say you're one of the guys that needs to budget your money, right? You can't afford 5 jerseys that you want. you get outbid on one jersey you're bidding on, and it goes more than you're willing to pay on that jersey. Now you have money to allocate elsewhere to your second jersey until that one gets out of range, and then your third jersey until that gets out of range. That's what the extended bidding is about. That also maximizes profits for the auction house. What
and
I would do different,
if you're the person selling a jersey, then you're gonna be like, well, I want to maximize that profit, and maybe someday I would be there. I get it.
What I would do different,
I get all that.
What I would do different is I would make it so it doesn't go long enough, or at least have a pause time in the auction or something like that, so motherfuckers can sleep at night.
It went 8 extra hours.
Yes. But I'm telling you that's why it does it. And if I was interested in bidding on any other shit, and I had a list of shit in the order that I want, and I only wanted one jersey at a time, I wouldn't want to have this auction end at the same time of everything else, last minute, get this one, out of my price range. Now I can't allocate the money that I set aside for these auctions to something else. It's for reallocation of potential funds. That's what it's about. The problem is when it's midnight, I gotta wake up in the fucking morning, the auction extended, I don't know how long it's extended for, it goes until 6 in the morning, I'm trying to sleep, I really want this other thing. It's like, it's destroying people's sleep habit. People, some people are like, whatever, I'll just bid my top, but it's like, and some people make that argument, is like, just bid your top bid. Well, I don't want to bid my top bid on 5 items. I'll bid my top bid after I get knocked out on one of them. You know what I'm saying?
So
I know it, and I know why they did it. The rule, I know why this one runs that way. I just don't like it. But I played by it. I played by the rule. I didn't bitch about it on Facebook.
You would like it. You would like it if it benefited you.
That's why I said if you're a seller, you're going to be like, well, I made more money.
As a buyer, you would like it if it benefited you. For example, you have $1,000 set aside for 5 different jerseys that you want. Jersey 1, you got your money on it, comes down to the last couple minutes, it now goes over $1,000. Your second jersey that you want is only at $500, so now you can take that money that you were just outbid on, and you can allocate it to your second jersey until you're outbid on that, and then you can cascade it down and cascade it down. You are benefiting from that rule.
So which auction has the better closing, .net or Classic? And for those who don't know, it's the same at Classic.
Don't they have a countdown?
Well, that's part of it. But at Classic, you have to bid on the item before you can bid on it in extended time. Whereas at .net, there's no requirements. And there is a countdown timer at Classic.
Honestly, I want a countdown timer, and I want the timer to be paused from midnight to 9 in the morning. So if the auction goes until midnight, then the timer stops.
What time zone, Derek?
Thank you, Bobby.
Eastern. You can still make your bids. You can still make your bids. You can make your bids when the timer is stopped. The timer just doesn't go again until a more reasonable time.
Guys, I don't really think there is a logical approach to this. There are collectors in Europe. There are collectors in all over the world. So I don't think you can put a pause on it. I don't think there's a perfect answer to it, to extending bidding, as long as it's going to be a practice. I like the idea as a bidder for Classic, because I feel like I have a snowball's chance in hell of winning an item, because if it's a lesser known item and I'm the one person who's bid on it, I don't really have to worry about it too much when the time closes and I'm the one bid. So it gives me some clarity, but I understand why GameWorn works the way it does, and I know the times are annoying, especially if you want to buy multiple items. And I don't know that there's an answer to that. But if you don't want as sellers, like, these auction houses won't exist if it turns into eBay. You can't have last minute snipes. That's not the environment for that.
Yeah, I like I said, I played by the rules, and I got up in the morning to check everything. That's fine. That's just the one thing I don't like. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop.
Hey, I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm just giving you the logistical explanation as to why it happens and the people that it can benefit, both on the buying side and the selling side. It can benefit a lot of people.
Well, it can. It's annoying.
The only person it doesn't benefit is the person who gets outbid during extended bidding. That's it. That's the only person who's got a gripe. Or the person who goes to sleep. The person who goes to sleep also has a gripe as well.
Yeah, and I think there's the argument certainly that it definitely drives prices up. I'll tell you one thing I've never understood. Maybe you guys can help with this. In all auctions as a buyer, I don't understand that, but I especially don't understand it in auctions with extended bidding, which is the practice of bidding early. In GameWorn.net, I don't bid on anything until I'm going to bed, the night it's ending. Like I don't touch it because why? In the meantime, you're just giving more lead time for the prices to run up. I'm willing to take my chances, stay up as late as I can, put in what I want to pay for something max, and go to bed and let the cards fall where they may, and not let someone have advance notice to sit there and drive the price up on me. I do not understand the practice of bidding early. It doesn't make sense to me. It happens all the time.
I can agree. There's no incentive to make that early bid. There's no incentive to place a max bid.
Yeah. It's funny. I've had guys say to me, "Oh, it's great." Like with 7 days left in an auction. Oh man, it's great. I'm the top bidder on this Lemieux right now. It's like, well, you're not going to win it. Why are you not at that bid? Like, why are you bothering? What good does that do for you to say that you were once the high bidder? Like there's only one high bidder that matters. I don't understand it. That is the thing that just stumps me on any kind of auction. I don't care if it's eBay, a live auction, silent auction, whatever. It doesn't make sense.
You have to have somebody have stake in the game to get them to do like a max bid, and the only way to do that is to make them pay for bids. But then at that point, you're really gonna kill your market because people won't want to pay for bids. So there's not a good resolution. You know what I'm saying? It's such a difficult thing, and I mean, when it comes to auctions like this, we're just gonna have to choose some shit.
Yep.
It's a shit sandwich, and you need to make it look like it's a half-assed hot dog. I don't know why I came up with that analogy. That was a fucking terrible analogy.
Can I? You should have a drink, Derek. I guess one of the things as I look through all these auctions is I see so many of them that said photo match. When I then went and looked at the photos, the quote unquote photo match, I don't think 80% of them actually are.
No, dude. Here's my thing with theirs is they put a bunch of shit in there that doesn't matter. That's my biggest gripe with them. Hey, proudly sewn to my asshole is this fucking trap for poop. Like, proudly sewn. Proudly. Everything's proudly. Proudly.
And everything is signed in the athlete's own hand. Like, you don't need... That's more of a semantic, like, annoying approach, but I agree. The descriptions are so long.
Here's 18 fucking paragraphs about this person's life, and then a small little paragraph that tells you about the jersey, but we're not going to include any pictures of the set stamp. We're not going to include any pictures of documentation. We're going to include a picture wearing a jersey, a picture of the player wearing a jersey. That's not this jersey, but we're not telling you it's photo matched, and we're not saying that this is the photo match. We're just going to lead you to believe this shit. It's like, get your shit under control. Make your listings, like... make sense. Like, I don't give a fuck about the player. I want to know about the jersey. Tell me about the jersey. Tell me about the wear. Don't tell me this was proudly sewn to whatever. Don't give me emotion. Oh my god, the marks on the shoulder look like it hurt so bad. Like, fuck off with that shit.
You don't need the superlative. You just need the detail. Like, I'd be happy if they just bulleted it. That's fine. Give me bullets. Like, what's the left sleeve? What's the right sleeve? How many repairs? What's the provenance behind the jersey? Show me the tagging, and that's it. It would honestly, though, I
want to know that it has a migrate tag in it.
and how about just post that, and it will take them so much less time to actually publish each item because you don't need to write the flowery, superfluous verbiage.
Do we know if they get that shit from anywhere? Do they just like go to Wikipedia and like take the first paragraph or whatever of like the life summary of the person?
Let me see.
Good question.
Somebody should look that up. I don't know. That's just my gripe. I'm a cut and dry person when it comes to that. Like, if you're selling me a jersey, tell me about the jersey. Don't give me all this other information that I don't need. Don't tell me something is proudly this, that, or the other. Sewn to the chest is a fucking A. It's sewn to the chest. How do you know it was proudly sewn there? Maybe he was pissed. Maybe like, fuck having to sew this A to this guy's chest. He's an asshole in real life. Nobody knows it. He's a motherfucker. It wasn't proudly sewn there.
Right.
The manager was pissed. He had sewn A on the jersey.
Maybe it was enragingly sewn on there. Maybe the dude was in a drunken rage sewing it on there, like, oh, fuck this entire team.
Any oddball? What's that, Bobby?
I said maybe it was mistakenly sewn there. Wasn't supposed to be there in the first place.
Yeah, like some of the Red Wings ones.
Yeah.
Mistakenly put in the wrong spot. Now, can somebody answer this question? It's maybe because of the previous teams he was on and the numbers he put up. But a 1999-2000 Dave Ellett Blues jersey sold for $427. Dave Ellett. I mean, he's played 1,129 games. Is that why? I was just very surprised following the Blues ones that went that high.
I don't know who that is.
Most people don't.
Well, I mean, there was. It depends on the.
Maybe there was something in there about his life that people resonated on.
Yeah, there was some jerseys that I thought went, man, I was like, that's cheap. So I think some people got some good deals as if they want to flip them or trade them or what they want to do. You know, I thought some good jerseys out there were.
The interesting thing with the way these auctions run, though, is like when they drop so much shit at one time. And a lot of times it's a collection of somebody. Hey, I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins jersey. Guess what? There's 150 fucking Pittsburgh Penguins jerseys in this auction. What do you think's going to happen? The Pittsburgh Penguins stake is going to get split among everybody.
What is the deal with all the jerseys that have shown up multiple times on especially GameWorn auctions? I've seen it a couple times on Classic, but the one in particular I'm thinking of is the Recchi Hurricane Stanley Cup Final jersey. It's the third time it's shown up. Once it sold for like $1,000. Another time it sold for over $3,000. This most recent time I think it sold for like $1,200. These are all pre-hammer costs. Like, is that the jersey like the high bidder never actually paid, or is it really someone bought it and then in the next auction they list it again, like, and they're moving things around? Like, what is that? Does anybody know?
I don't know, but I would say maybe they're non-paying bidder, or maybe it's one of those. I heard that they give what is it? Upfront payments or whatever to people. Like, I've heard some people say that they'll give you an advance on your jerseys. So maybe
like guaranteeing they're going to get you this much money.
Yeah, something like that.
And they give it to you.
Yeah, like they estimate a valuation and then give you X% of that evaluation before the auction ends.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely too sure of the details. Some people think they should bid on their own stuff. I don't know. I'm not going to make accusations. Yeah, fucking got a guy listening that says shill. But I'm not going to make those accusations. I don't know, but it'd be very interesting to find out. My problem is I don't like talking to them, really, so I don't care enough to email them to ask them. I bet somebody could email them and ask them, and they might say something, and that would give us an idea. But I don't care. I mean, I stay away from that shit as much as I can until a better system comes along or something that I like, or I don't know. I'm just talking right now.
I don't think there'll be any perfect system. You're going to upset some people here or there. So.
Here's the thing, though. My only thing is listen to what your customers are saying and maybe do something about it. That's all. Or,
but
or
if they
address concerns. It could be that simple. Address concerns.
Why don't we bring on one of our next episodes one of the auction organizers, like Mark from Classic or David from GameWorn?
If they come on, I'd love to hear like what their thought process is and why they do the things they do. If they say, you know what, we won't take, in the case of GameWorn, we won't take credit cards because of the extra cost in that. It's like, you know what, that's fine. If you want to run your business that way, you probably do lose a percentage of people because it's more of a pain in the ass. But at least put that out there and say, this is why we do it, and so there's no no ifs, ands, buts, or anything.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's invite at least one of them, if not both of them, and do like an Auctions Unmasked episode, and get into some of that. I mean, I think it's got to be handled carefully because it's a topic that people can get really sensitive about, and I think one of the unique things about auctions is the amount of emotion that can start flying when you're dealing with auctions because people get attached to things before they've bought them, and can get upset about procedures and different things. So it would need to be planned out the right way. But I think it would be, we spend so much time as collectors
speculating
and commentary. We should let's go to the source.
Hey, if you can get it set up, feel free.
All right.
I'll give you the power.
Any major pricing surprises on some of the higher end stuff? The Dennis Hole selling for $33,000.
Just saw you guys. I didn't look at it. I'll be great.
I didn't check it out afterwards. Barkley
Plaguers Blues one sold for $6,700.
I think for every high one though, I think you'll find one where somebody got a good deal. So
yeah, it was a big mix, especially the modern stuff. A lot of it seemed pretty.
Yeah, I did
low.
the two I got fall right in that category. One went a little bit higher than I thought it should have went. But I kind of understand why it probably went a little bit higher. And the other one, compared to what's out there, I'm like, I got a good deal on that one. And those are obviously the pre-hammer and shipping and all that, prices. So.
And the top end.
I guess in the end it washed out,
Top end of the modern jerseys, most expensive was a 11-12 Jonathan Taves for $6,100. Yager was right behind it at just over $5,000. There was a Solani Stadium Series for $4,400. I'm trying to see what some of the other ones. May go to the bottom end of like weird stuff. I mean, there was only one of the modern jerseys didn't get a bid. It was a women's Sweden jersey.
Who was it? It
wasn't
Aberg, was it?
No, Pernilla Burholm.
No, I don't know her.
Let's see.
I was just asking because some of them Sweden girls, man.
Yeah, I don't see like bigger names in the bottom end. I mean, there was some cheap ones to pick up, some as low as $100, but then earth shattering. I don't think in the lower end stuff. Some Colorado alternate ones went either actually didn't have auctions or went super ass cheap. Either that ugly blue or the navy with the Colorado.
The blueberry ones. I think that's what they call it, the blueberry.
But yeah, I mean, not too bad of a auction though, really.
Yeah, you guys don't have to pay because they're based now in Florida. I have to pay state sales tax.
Ouch!
I get the hammer, I get shipping, and I get state tax.
Yo, why don't you just have it shipped to somebody else?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll take your shipments for you and reroute them. I don't give a shit.
I don't care. I'll do it too.
All right, and we got an audio recording of that. Government, that's not what we did.
Prove it, bitches. Just because I said it doesn't mean I meant it.
Yeah. Also, in terms of prices, a lot of the recent Red Wings jerseys went really inexpensive.
That's because they suck right now, man.
Well, yeah, we can't do anything about that. But I mean, the Sproul triple patch jersey was $292 plus hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was just a lot. A Nyquist for under $300. I was really surprised. The other thing, which didn't surprise me, but was kind of expected, a lot of the Russian jerseys did not get any bids. There were, I forget even how many Russian jerseys were in this auction.
It's one of those cases of just filling up with too much shit. Too much of the same stuff.
261 Russian jerseys. So there's a ton of zero bids.
Wow.
Yeah.
My question becomes, what happens to those jerseys on their hands? They go back. seller or what?
That or maybe they show up in the next one. I suppose you can talk to them, and arrange something, whatever.
Has anyone here?
I don't know.
If anyone here is consigned with them, I'm sure it's in the contract. But I've never consigned with them, so I do not know.
Did you win anything, Paul?
I did not. There were a few I was looking at. I even passed on the Michigan jerseys. And I was basically bidding on a few jerseys I used to own, which have cycled around, and they all got more than I wanted to spend. So
right.
Hey, you guys want to talk about internet security?
I'm good with that.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so
or lack of security.
Right. Holy shit. So not too long ago, we were talking about gesture bidding, and I wrote an article advising people to stay away if they value their internet security. And the reason being is because I could get into your account without having to log in. All I do is type it in the URL. The URL has your account information embedded in it, so if you go to the correct URL, you're in somebody's account. There's no login, there's no authentication of any purpose. I mean, somebody posted a link to an auction from when they were signed into their account, and when you click on it, you get taken to that auction, but you can also go to their account and change all their shit and view all their shit.
That's scary.
Like,
and I accidentally did that one time.
Yeah, that's the bottom line, like, no of internet security is you must authenticate through session data.
That's weird.
Right?
Yeah. Like, if you post a link saying, oh, here's a link to the auction, it's just a link to your account. And
I'm trying right now.
Anyone who bids would be bidding on your account, so they would win, but really the other person would have to pay for it.
And they can see some personal information, so if you added like your shipping information on there, you can add your credit card or payment information in there, and it's probably going to mask your payment information, but if you can access it, who's to say that you're not going to be able to figure out a way to get beyond that? Like, if your security is already lax on a user account, who's to say where else it's lax at? Now,
holy shit.
Yeah, you just do it?
Yeah, I just did it. Yeah. I sent it. I was logged in on my my personal phone. I just sent it to my work phone, just the URL. And I've never logged in
your account. Yeah. And you can go to the My Account page and see all that shit.
Yeah.
No, I no need to log in.
I can see I can see the last 4 digits of my credit card, what kind of credit card it is, and when the expiration date is, and my phone number.
Yeah,
well, so phone number. Basically, people could if you
it's
posted
great for
that
social engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, because you posted that in the forum, say, hey, where's the link to this auction? You throw that in there. Somebody grabs that and can start throwing big ass bids on your thing, and you're probably stuck with them.
And I don't even know. I don't know if you can even view the auctions without being logged in. So I don't know if you can direct link to them at all in any case. I'm not sure. I haven't messed with that system. But imagine not realizing that you're logged in and somebody's like, hey, does anybody have a link to that auction? You're trying to be helpful, and you're like, bam, here you go.
Jesus.
So I was like, yeah, hey guys, stop using gesture, and had somebody on there telling me that I'm an asshole and I'm ruining people's lives because internet security is not an important thing, and I'm just trying to ruin people's business because they won't sell through me and this, that, and the other, right? I'm a fucking terrible person.
Well, and you know what? And I had an interaction, I don't want to say similar to that, but along those same lines, and actually it was a great interaction. And I think, I don't remember if I told you guys about this or not already, because it's kind of ringing a bell, but I've talked to a lot of people about it, is the Vancouver Canucks do the same kind of auction during their games where they text you out a link.
It's like bid or mobile bid or something.
That's what it is. So I get the text one day of this link. It says, go here to bid on our auctions, and that's all it is.
Did you send that to me? Is that the one that I got into from yours, or was that Paul? Somebody sent it to me to take a look at it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, because I favorited a bunch of shit on your account.
Yes, thank you for not bidding. I appreciate that.
but in the case of this, and again, it's going back to internet security. I've been in IT 22 years now, and part of what we educate all our users, and you guys in your jobs have probably gone through training and stuff, is you don't click on links you don't know. And it comes up as this random, click here to bid. It doesn't say who it is or anything. And what was funny, though, with this is at the same time, I'm on Facebook, and I apologize that I'm blanking on the gentleman's name that handles it for Vancouver. Because he's in...
Stu.
Yes, that's who it was. Saw he had posted a link in one of the forums, so I shot him a message. I'm like, hey, by the way, do you deal with these texts and stuff that goes out? And he said, yes, I do. Said, here's the problem. Anybody that's getting that on their phone, because I'd forgotten I'd signed up for it, isn't going to click that because it looks like it's fake. I mean,
spam.
Yeah. Click here to bid, and you don't know where it is. Well, he pushed about 30 minutes later, pushed another one behind it that said Vancouver Canucks, whatever. But I noticed next time I got it, that was first, and it was right together. But I'm like, I'm just trying to help you out, because anybody that gets this in their email or on their phone, because I got it in both places, it was not marked as anything having to do with Vancouver. So, yeah, anybody that's had any level of security training, even at the basic level, isn't going to randomly click on a link.
Well,
so hopefully it helped in their bidding once they branded it properly.
What's funny is I'm in IT and you're in IT security, and we're making all these outlandish claims, but this other guy who owns a multi-million-dollar business is like, it's not that big of a deal and nobody needs to be worried about it. Because that totally makes him an IT security expert, is owning a multi-million-dollar business. You're definitely an IT expert for sure to tell me that internet security is not a major issue. Okay.
I can put him in touch with world-renowned experts through my university if he needs that. I have people that work with the FBI and stuff daily on internet security. So, but that's the thing, and I'm hoping maybe e-gestures would be open if we reach out to them, or somebody reach out to them and said, "Hey, this is a big-ass security hole. You need to fix it." I'd be curious what their response would be.
I don't know. It's a lot of liability, I would think. I'm surprised it's not taken seriously, though. Like, I take that kind of stuff, like, super serious.
But not everybody does. Oh, it won't affect me or whatever. But bullshit. When you post...
Just because it hasn't affected you doesn't mean it's not a problem.
Yep. I've had, 4 people click on phishing links. Wasn't actually phishing. In their case, it was ransomware, and it totally locked up their computer. And they lost all their shit. And
Just
I'm like, you shouldn't have clicked on that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so you want to know something fun? You remember a while ago I bought some jerseys with no nameplates on the back?
Mm-hmm.
I figured out where the nameplates went. Do you want to know?
Yeah. I can only imagine.
So the nameplates were removed from the back of the jerseys and sent to the card companies to cut up into cards. And then the jerseys were sold as, we don't know whose they are, they're as is.
What team was this?
Red Wings.
Oh my God.
So I've got that.
Assuming you figured out whose the jerseys belong to.
Yeah, I got McCarty and a Hasek, right? And I bought them as is, no letters of authenticity because they couldn't verify it. I've got them photo matched, and as far as the Hasek is concerned, the guy who has all 5 letters in the card messaged me and was like, "Hey, I have the letters for that jersey."
Again, you know what? At least it sounds terrible. At least the whole jersey didn't get cut up. It sucks that they took the nameplate off, but at least the jerseys are still in the hobby.
Right.
Do you know the timing of when they sold the nameplates?
I couldn't give you an exact, but I could try to look at like what year the cards were produced. I haven't really looked like deep into it. I just got a picture of the cards today. So I'm sure we could figure out like what year the cards were made or what year they're from.
Yeah, I mean, because if I remember right, the jerseys are the 05-06 preseason set.
It would be, yeah, 06 exhibitions, and then it was 06, 07 exhibition into the other one I have is a 07 training camp. So it's like right around that era.
Yeah, because Christy had mentioned she had boxes of nameplates from removed preseason and training camp jerseys. So I was just wondering if it's something.
Emailed
This
her
is like
not
3-4
long
years
after
ago.
I emailed her not long after I got the jersey and was like, "Hey, do you have any nameplates?" And she's like, "No." So they must have just took those boxes and sold them off the upper deck.
That's too bad. And yes, Mike, preseason jerseys with the straight name bars in training camp. That's
and different font too. Pretty interesting, kind of fun, but a little bit sad.
Again, it's those weird things that we find in the hobby for that teams do, or we just find about in weird ways.
True. All right. Well, is there anything else for you guys? Do you want to touch on? We've got a couple minutes here.
Expo plan.
Yeah, expo planning. That's a good one. I'm gonna start doing that soon. I'm gonna start reaching out, see if we can at least find a venue or a favorable place. I'd like to, do something pretty cool to make it more accessible to the public. I'd like to use it as an opportunity to get people a little bit educated that the hobby exists, and maybe to come check out historical items, because let's face it, we all feel like we have little bits and pieces of hockey history sitting around. I don't know, I really want to make this thing, like this specific one, like super good. I think we have a lot of opportunity. We kind of need to get people on our side to be able to make it happen in such a grand scheme that I would like to see. I want to use it as a platform for people to understand that game-worn jersey collecting is a thing. Because part of me feels like, a lot of the fans, they see the Hockey Fights Cancer, military appreciation warm-ups and stuff, and they don't realize that you can actually get the jersey from the game. I feel like some people may be more sheltered in that sense, and I'd like to open up people's eyes and grow the hobby in that regard. I think we can get more people interested, and even if it's not jerseys, gear, just cool memorabilia,
Well, if you want to do that, maybe we could always open it up to the public more than like what we kind of did with Chicago, because with Chicago was kind of like within the collectors, everyone come. But if you want, the average Joe, like, hey, you could get that jersey that they wore for 7 games instead of the one that they wore for 7 minutes.
Well, the trick is going to be venue. We need a venue that's going to be able to support people coming through. It's going to be easily accessible. It's going to be visible. And then we also need marketing. So it'd be cool to have the venue in on the marketing as well. We need favorable rates, because you can't just choose any venue and make it super expensive, because then I won't be able to afford to actually do it.
Well, maybe if you do that, might help would be, I know some of this with the promoting because of, the whole pro wrestling thing, would be maybe try to find a sponsor saying, hey, if we put your name out there, we could put your name out for,
co-sponsorship on flyers and advertising and such.
Yeah. They could be
That's
like,
a pretty
hey,
good idea.
here's $500 out we'll put towards you, but we want our name on this, and this, and be like, cool, that's fine. Just, we'll do it. I mean, it sounds like
I'm gonna jot that down and see if I can get some leeway on that as well. My number one thing is to contact venues right now for availability. Go big or go home is what I'm positioning at this point.
Yeah, if you want to go big and you want to do stuff, sometimes you need to go with sponsors, like either go local or try to go corporate, or just got to find stuff that hey, we're going to do this, we'll do flyers and we'll put your name on it. If you can want to donate, however much money, kind of set, like, if you donate $50, you'll have a small logo. If you donate like $200, we'll put your logo on the flyers, and then we'll put your logo on banners around, where we're setting up tables. you know, you got to kind of give them an incentive with how much money they want to give too.
Yeah, I'm gonna start reaching out this week or next, and I'm taking pretty much anybody who has ideas of things that they want to see, or people that might have contacts to make things better. Anybody that wants to help plan or like take a duty on, or maybe contact like things that we need to make it happen. I'm pretty much gathering all that information now, and then we're gonna start reaching out, poking out, and trying to make this thing happen because we got 2 years to do it, and hopefully we can make it super freaking sweet in 2 years, or die trying, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's about all the time that we have for today. Appreciate all the talk and the chatter on the live video feed and the discussion that we had here. I think we had some constructive things going on. Good job. All right, we'll see you next time. We'll figure out what we're going to talk about. Have a good one.
See ya.
Outro.
Yeah.